Today, we are diving into a really beautiful story that honestly speaks to a feeling we all know deep down, that fear of change. It's all about a little creature who has to face this huge, long sleep and what he ends up learning about the promise of a brand new start. This is Time to Hibernate. So, have you ever wished you could just skip winter? Just curl up in a warm, cozy bed and wake up only when the world is green and sunny again? Well, turns out you are not alone. We're about to meet a little groundhog who feels exactly the same way. And his story, it's like nature's greatest disappearing act.
To really get why he's so scared, first, we've got to see what he has to lose. So let's take a little step into his perfect summer world. I mean, life was just perfect. For little groundhog and his mom, summer was this sun-drenched paradise. Just imagine it, a non-stop feast of all the fresh green plants you could eat, warm dirt for digging tunnels, and just endless days playing in the woods. It was a world of total warmth and safety. And it wasn't just about the food and the sun. Oh no, he had his friends. His days were spent just messing around with little squirrel, little snake, and yeah, even little bear. This was his entire world, a whole community just filled with adventure. But as we all know, seasons change, and pretty soon there's a little shift in the air that signals that little groundhog's perfect summer is about to get turned completely upside down. Then, one day, Mama Groundhog just looks up. She feels it first, that new crispness in the air. She sees the birds gathering up, getting ready for their long trip south. She senses the change way before he does. And then, with this gentle certainty in her voice, she says the words that are about to change his whole world. It is time for us to hibernate. For little groundhog, this word is, well, it's completely new. He's just full of innocence and confusion, and he asks this one simple question. What does hibernate mean? Mama's answer is simple. It means going to sleep for a long time. But for a little guy whose entire life is about playing and exploring, those words, they sound less like a cozy nap and a whole lot more like a punishment. Okay, so this is where we get right to the heart of his fear. He is not going to accept this long sleep thing without a fight. His first protest is all about the simple joys he's just not ready to give up. With all the passion a little groundhog can possibly have, he cries out, "But I want to eat many more plants." But Mama, she just calmly explains the logic of nature. The plants, well, they're going to sleep too. Soon, there won't be anything green left to eat. Winter's a time for rest, she tells him, not for feasting. So his next protest, it goes even deeper. It's not just about food anymore. It's about connection. He wails, "I want to play with my friends." The thought of being all alone is so much scarier than being hungry.
But Mama, she has this comforting wisdom for him. She reassures him that he's not being left behind. Everyone he knows, little squirrel, little snake, little bear, they're all going to be sleeping too. And then she makes this crucial promise. You will see your friends in the spring.
And then, finally, he reveals his deepest, most primal fear. With a voice just trembling with emotion, he cries out, "But I don't want to go to sleep. I want to stay close to you, Mama." You see, it was never about the plants or the friends. It was about being separated from his mother. With a gentle laugh and a big, warm hug, Mama gives him the one promise that matters more than anything else. "I will stay close," she says. "We are going to hibernate together." And with those simple words, all of his fears just melt away. And so, with his heart finally at ease, little groundhog accepts what's to come. They curl up together, side by side, ready for that long winter's sleep. And so, time just passes. The days grow shorter. The whole world becomes quiet. Fall turns into winter. And then, the snow begins to fall, covering their home in this deep, silent blanket of white, just like Mama said it would. But even in that deep sleep, the memories of summer lived on. Little groundhog dreamed. He dreamed of playing with his friends, of digging tunnels, of feasting on all those green plants. He dreamed of springtime. And after weeks and weeks and weeks of dreaming, the long wait is finally over. As the world outside begins to wake up, so does our little groundhog.
He wakes with this jolt of pure energy. He pokes his head out of the burrow, feels the warmth of the new sun on his face, and just yells with everything he's got, "Wake up, Mama, it is time to stop hibernating!" When his mom asks him why he's so excited, he just bursts with this pure joy. "I had a dream when I was hibernating. I dreamed it was springtime, and look, my dream came true." The promise his mother made, and the promise of nature itself, had been kept. And that really leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? Little Groundhog was terrified of the coming winter, of the long sleep, of a change he couldn't control. And yet, on the other side of all that fear was this joyful spring he had only dreamed of. It really makes you wonder, why do we so often fear the winters in our own lives when we know deep down that a new spring is always waiting to begin?